Hi everyone. The problem now that we are going to solve involves the input table as employee details. This table has below columns emp ID, which is the employee ID, emp name, which is the name of the employee, emp age, that is the age of the employee, emp gender, that is the gender of the employee, emp department, that is the department of the employee. So each record indicates information related to particular employee. Now, as part of the output, we need to find out for every department what is the total number of employees that are present, what is the total male count as per the gender, similarly, what is the total female count, and if the total employees and the total male count in case it matches, then we say that that department is male dominant. Similarly, if the total employees count matches with the total female count, it is said that the department is female dominant. If the total employees count does not match with any of this, like if all the males are not the only employees for that department, or all the females are not the only employees for that department, then we say that the department dominance is none. Okay, so this is the requirement, this is the output that we are looking for. So let's operate on the input and try to generate this output. So what we will do is, so as we see in the input, first of all, just to understand further, here in the executive, there are three female employees and no male employees. So that's why this is a female dominant department. Similarly, in case of HR, there are only males that are present. That's why it is male dominant. And for the others, it is a mix of genders. For example, IT, there are two females and two males. And in case of sales, there is one female and two males. So since it is mix of genders, the department dominance is none. Okay, so let's now write the query to solve this problem. Okay, so we will operate on this input table data. So what we will do is, we will fetch all the records from this table employee details, and we will keep all the columns as it is. And first of all, we will start checking whether the record is pertaining to female or male. So how we will do it? We will create a new column using the case condition. So case when employee gender is male, say M, then we will say 1, else 0. So this will give us the male indicator, we can say. Okay. Similarly, we will use the similar logic to find if it is a female entry. So similar lines we will do that, and we will get two new columns. Let's run and see the output. So in the output, now we have created two new columns which will indicate whether the entry is of male, example in these cases, or if it is of female, example of these cases. Okay, so now having this information, it makes the query now simpler. What we can do is, now we have to find out how many males are there. So we can simply sum this up. Similarly, to count number of females, we can simply sum this up. And for finding the total number of employees, we can just use the count function and get the total number of employees. So we will operate on this data. So what we will do is, we will simply sum this. Okay, as we discussed, simply we will sum this and we will get the male count. Okay. Similarly, we will sum this second column as well and we will call it as female count. So let's apply the sum function here. and we will keep only the emp id column. So for the emp id, oh, okay, so we are working on the department, so we will keep the emp department column since we have to find the count department wise, and we will do the grouping based on the department. Now one more thing that we have to find is the total employees. So how we will do it? We will use the count function. So let's use count of 1 say, and this will give us the total employees. Let's run and see the output. So we have got the details. We have got the total count of employees in a particular department. So say executive, total there are 3 executives. So we have got the total employees as 3 and all are females. Hence female count is 3. None males. So male count is 0. Similarly for the other department HR, there are only 2 employees. Both are male. So that's why we get the same count here. So likewise, we can verify that we are getting the output in the right way. Okay, we are able to correctly determine what is the male count, female count, and total employees. So what we will do is let's add it as part of a CTE and let's call it as employee CTE. Okay, now we will operate on this CTE, employee CTE, and what we will do is for every employee department, okay, for every entry, we just have to do the comparison to identify whether a department is male dominant or female dominant, or it is not any, there is no any dominance. Okay, so we will check if the total employees is equal to the male count. So if that is the case, we will say it is male dominant. Same logic we will apply. We will add another condition. So we will add similar additional condition, and here we will check if the total employees is equal to the female count. Then we will say it is female dominant. And if both the conditions are not satisfied, okay, then we will say it is none. That is, it is not dominated by any particular gender. So this will be the department dominance column. So let's run and see the output, and we can keep the other columns as well, like whatever count and all that we have identified. Let's keep everything. So we'll just have those records, those count, those columns as well. So this is the final output that we have. For for every department, we have identified the total employees, the total male count in that department, the total female count, and finally determined whether a particular department is male dominant or female dominant, or it is not dominated by any of the particular genders. Okay, so we have generated the required output, and this is the query that we have written to find the final solution. Just to do a summary, what we have done is, first of all, we have created new columns, and based on the gender, we have indicated the particular value with 1. Those records with value 1, if it is gender is M. Similarly, another column for female we have created, and wherever the gender is female, we have indicated by 1. Finally, we have done the summation to find the total male count and similarly find the total female count. We have used the count function to find the total number of employees. Once we have all these 3 details, it is very simple. Now simply what we have to do is we have to do the comparison. We have to compare the total employees with male count. If it is matching, it is male dominant. If the total employees is matching with female count, it is female dominant. Else it is not dominated by any gender. So this way we have solved this problem. So I will be adding the create table and insert statement in the description. Please go through it. If you have any alternate solution, please post it in the comments. If you found this video useful, please like it. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe the channel and please provide your feedback in the comments. Thank you.